Righto, I'm just going to go through these stratagems very briefly. As briefly as I can do, I just talk forever, you guys know that. So, anyways, stick around for the stratagems. Alright, we'll go through. These are the blue ones. Psychic Channeling. Use this stratagem in your psychic phase when a Grey Knight Psychic unit from your army selected has manifested psychic power. Till the end of the phase, each time a psychic test is taken for the unit, roll one additional d6 and discard one of the dice. This is going to be best on guys that use lots of psychic powers, just because you get the extra dice on all of them. If you then spend the CP for another one, which is coming up, you then get to cast 3 on some guys. Just says discard 1, so if you rolled 2 6s and a 4, you still get a 10, so sweet. Also teams up well with the Wardmaker's Warlord trait. Second one, a Psychic Onslaught. Use your strategy shooting phase when a Grey Knight Psychic unit from army is selected to shoot. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack with a psi weapon, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack, and improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. So that's your psi cannons, heavy psi cannons, silencers, heavy silencers. They all get +1 strength and better AP, makes them a little bit more killy. The Steel Heart. Use this stratagem in your fight phase when a Grey Knight Terminator unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to that attack's hit roll. So that's your Terminators, they get +1 to hit in combat. That's also a lot of your characters like Drago, Voldus, Brother Captains, all that sort of stuff. If you've got a bunch of Paladins, they're Terminators, you know, they've all got hammers, they go into combat, they're 2 to hit normally, suddenly they've gone to 3 because the hammers are -1 to hit, you throw this on there, they're 2s to hit again. Unbelievable. Death from the Warp. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a Grey Knight Psychic unit from your army shoots. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, if that unit was set up on the battlefield, use the Teleport Strike ability. This turn, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. First time I looked at that, I thought I just looked at heavy weapons. But then after thinking about it for a while, I realised if you've got a unit with just pure Storm Bolters, you drop them in, suddenly the Storm Bolters are hitting on 2s. So it's also really good for the Storm Bolters. But yes, typically your heavy weapons when you come in from reserve, they're going to be -1 a hit. So your psi cannons, silencers, all that sort of stuff, you'll drop in, you'll shoot them and hit with 4s. This allows you to be hitting them with 3s. So it's good for both. Powerful Adept. Use this stratagem in your psychic phase when a Grey Knight Psychic unit from your army is selected to manifest psychic powers. Till the end of the phase, each time a psychic power is manifested by that unit, increase the range of that psychic power by 6. Yes. That works on all these psychic powers that you use. So there's a few in there that are 12 inches. This suddenly allows you to go to 18, which is pretty beneficial. It means you can keep yourself out of charge range for some things. It also means you can reach units that you wouldn't normally be able to reach. Sanctified Kill Zone. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a Purgation Stride unit from your army selects to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time a ranged attack made by a model in that unit targets an enemy unit within half range, add 1 to that attack's wound roll. It's pretty cool. Purgation Squads are decent. Most of their weapons, except for the Flamer, actually it's any ranged weapon, so that's your Storm Bolters as well. Typically they have a range of 24 inches for the psi weapons and the bolters. Rapid fire range for the bolters is obviously 12, but if you're within that 12, you can get +1 to wound from your psi weapons and your bolters. There is also the Tide, which allows you to get extra 6-inch range on psi weapons, so you'll be looking at a 15-inch range +1 to wound. Not too bad. It's 2 CP though, so think about it wisely. Now into the brown stratagems. Final Justice. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Grey Knight's character model, including Crow, from your army that has not already been selected to fight this phase is destroyed. Do not remove that model from play. It can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making attacks. After resolving the destroyed model's attacks, it is then removed. So if someone kills Drago or a Dread Knight Grand Master or something like that. You can fight when you die. That's pretty good. Shadow of Undying Legends. Use this stratagem in your command phase. Select one Grey Knight Dreadnought model from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, that model gains either the Rites of Battle ability below or the Tactical Precision ability as shown below. The first one is an aura of 6 inches. It lets you reroll hit rolls of 1. The other is an aura of 6 inches that lets you reroll wound rolls of 1. Both work on Grey Knight's core units. They are also core units themselves, so they benefit on their own. Purity of the Machine Spirit. Use this stratagem in your command phase. Select one Grey Knight's Machine Spirit model from your army until the start of your next command phase. That model is considered to have its full wounds remaining for the purposes of determining what characteristics on its profile to use. So if someone smashed your Land Raider or your Storm Raven down to 1 or 2 wounds, for 2 CP you can shoot at your full potential. Empiric Declamation. Yep. Use this stratagem at the start of any of your psychic phases. Select one Brotherhood Chaplain unit from your army that has not recited a litany since the start of your last command phase. That model can recite one litany that has not already been recited by a friendly model since the start of your last command phase. That litany is automatically inspiring, do not roll, and it takes effect until the start of your next command phase. Auto pass litany check. Chigurujik Resurrection. You can read that one yourselves. Figure that out. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select one Grey Knight's Apothecary unit from your army, and then select one friendly Grey Knight Infantry unit from the army that is not starting strength and is within 3 inches of that Apothecary. One of the selected unit's destroyed models is returned to the unit with its full wounds remaining. That is fantastic to use on Paladins or Terminators. Synergizes well with the 5th Brotherhood. Psychic Locust. Use your stratagem at the start of your psychic phase. Select one Brother Captain model from your army. Until the end of the phase, that model gains the following ability: Psychic Locust Aura. While a friendly Brotherhood Psychic unit is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the Psychic test taken for that unit. That is actually good for the Warlord trait from the 5th Brotherhood that buffs your auras. So it says specific aura, so it goes from 6 to 9. The next one also buffs it quite well. It's called Finest Hour. Use this strategy at the start of any phase. Select one Grey Knight character unit from your army until the end of the turn. Add 3 inches to the range of aura that unit's aura's abilities to a maximum of 12. So now suddenly the Brother Captain with that one has got a 12-inch aura for a +1 to cast on Psychic, and also reroll 1s to wound. Thunderous Stride. Use this stratagem in your charge phase. When a Dreadnought model from your army finishes a charge move, select one enemy unit with engagement range of that model. Roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, that enemy unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. On a 6, that enemy unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. If you're charging into a unit that's pretty weak or pretty strong, depending, and you want to thin it out a little bit, drop a CP and you can take D3 or straight 3 mortal wounds off them. Not too bad. Alright, we're into the red strats. Armory of Titan. Use this stratagem for the battle when you're mustering your army. If your warlord has the Grey Knight's keyword, select one Grey Knight's character model from your army, then give them one Relic of Titan. It's an extra relic one, I'm not going to read the rest. Exemplar of the Silvered Host. Use this stratagem after nominating a Grey Knight's character model that is not a named character by your warlord. Okay, so not Voldus, not Drago, none of them. Generate one additional warlord trait for them. This must be from the Grey Knight's warlord traits table. Each warlord trait in your army must be unique if randomly generated. Reroll duplicate results if you can only use this stratagem once. So this is for your warlord only, not a special other dude. Basically gives you 2 warlord traits. Shield of Humanity. Use this stratagem for the battle when you are mustering your army. If your warlord has the Grey Knight's keyword, select one Grey Knight's character from your army, determine one warlord trait for them, blah 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 blah. If you've already got a warlord and you wanted to give another dude a warlord trait, you can do it. It doesn't specifically say not named, I don't think. So you can give Drago or Voldus. Oh, Voldus probably wouldn't be able to do it because he is locked into ward makers. I don't know. Anyways, by the looks of it, you can make a Grandmaster Dread Knight your Warlord, and then give 1 CP, and then Drago's got a Warlord trait as well, so he gets the +1 attack and all that extra stuff. By the looks of it, quote me if I'm wrong. Endowment in Extremis. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select 1 Grey Knight's model from your army that has one of the following in their profile. Justicar, Paragon, Knight of the Flame. That model can have one of the following relics of Titan, even though they are not a character. Domina, Liber Demonica, Sanctic Shard, Orgrim Skulls, Staff of Supremacy. All the relics in your army that your army includes must be different and be given to different models. Now we're into the greeny coloured ones. Mental Focus. Use this stratagem in your psychic phase. Select 1 Grey Knight Psychic unit from your army until the end of the phase. That unit can attempt to manifest 1 more psychic power than normal. Very, very useful stratagem. Fight on the move. Use this stratagem in your movement phase. When a Grey Knight's teleporter unit from your army falls back. Until the end of the turn, that unit is still eligible to shoot and charge, even though it fell back. Very awesome for Interceptors and Dread Knights. Haloed in Soulfire. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Grey Knight's core unit from your army is set up on the battlefield using the Teleport Strike ability. Till the start of your next turn, each time an attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Pretty cool. You got a guy that's just dropped in from reserve. They got -1 to hit on them. If you're in the Tide of Shadows though, and you jump into terrain, you're going to get that -1 hit anyways. I don't think it double -1s it, but it might. It caps out at 1, so if they've got +1 for some reason, then they're back to -1. But anyways, it's there, it's cool, it's interesting. 1 CP. Untainted and Unbound. Unbowed. Use this stratagem in any phase when a Purified squad from your army is selected as a target attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is allocated to a model in that unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. It's 2 CP, it makes your Purifiers a bit tougher. They used to have one that gives them a 4-up invo, now they've got that. You've got another one in here that can give them invos. Oh, just bump my camera, sorry. Silence Bombardment. Use this stratagem in your command phase. If a Grey Knight's Warlord from your army is on the battlefield, select 1 point of the battlefield and place a marker on that point. At the start of your next command phase, roll a d6 for each unit within 6 inches of the center of that marker, adding 1 if the unit being rolled for is within 3 inches of the center of the marker, and subtracting 1 if that unit rolled for is a character. On a 2 to 5, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 6+, that unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. The marker is then removed. You can only use this stratagem once. Essentially, you put a point in your opponent's deployment zone if they're playing a castle, and you give them the option of either moving away before the next turn, so they could end up moving towards you, or they can just stay there and take the hit. So 3 CP though, and sometimes it might be enough for the person to just go, ugh. Or you can sit it up on an objective and just go, you can go for that objective if you want, you're going to die next turn. The need to know. You can use this stratagem if your army only contains Grey Knights detachments. Use this stratagem if you are playing a mission that requires you to select either secondary objectives or agendas. After both players have revealed their selections, you can select one of your secondaries, objectives or agendas and replace it with a different one. Make note on your army roster as your new selection to inform your opponent. All the normal rules for selecting secondary objectives and agendas apply. If both players have rules that allow them to select new secondary objectives and agendas, both players make their new selection before revealing them simultaneously to their opponent. Change your secondary last minute if you need to. Alloy of Disciplines. Use this stratagem in your command phase. Select 1 paladin unit from your army. Select 1 psychic power from the Sanctic discipline that unit does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does. There you go. Paladins can change their powers. Same as the Wardmakers can do with the Dominus ones. So that's not too bad. That could be useful actually. Martial Presence. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Grey Knight unit is set to defend. Is selected as the target of attack made by an enemy model. Until the end of the phase, each time an unmodified save roll 6 is made for a model in that unit, the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks. The attacking model's unit suffers 1 more wound. Keep in mind with that one that we did have that ability we spoke about in the previous video, where your character can actually give a unit on objective set to defend, or give them anywhere I think set to defend. yeah, so that could be like a trap you can set up for someone. Steely Advance. Use a stratagem in your movement phase when a Grey Knight's infantry unit from your army makes a normal move. Till the end of the turn, that unit is considered to have remained stationary. So, two reasons you take that. You'd want your bolters to be able to shoot the full amount of shots at 24 inches on a non-terminator unit. Or you'd like to move and shoot your heavy weapons without penalty. I'd probably look at purgation squads or maybe paladins or something like that. So we're now to the grey ones. Hexagrammic Wards. Use your stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase before a Deny the Witch test is taken for a Grey Knight psychic unit. For your army, when taking that test, roll 1 additional d6 and discard the lowest result. So it makes you extra deny. Plus you've already got the +1 as well. Don't forget. Teleportation Shunt. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Grey Knight's teleporter unit from your army is selected to make a normal move. Instead of making a normal move with that unit, remove it from the battlefield and then set it back up on the battlefield anywhere that is more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. The unit can only be selected with a stratagem once per battle. So it's 2 CP. So basically the thing you used to get for free now costs 2 CP. Could be good, could be bad. There are the things with Teleportation Shunt and the psychic powers that they get to mitigate it a bit. Just means you're not going to be in your opponent's grill turn 1 like you used to be able to do. Mists of Demios. Use your stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when a Grey Knight smoke screen unit from your army is selected as a target of attack until the end of phase. Each time an attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. Keeps your vehicles a bit more alive. True Silver Armor. It's either 2 or 3 CP. This stratagem. Use a stratagem in any phase where a Grey Knight's core infantry unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made against that unit, an unmodified ruin roll of 1 to 3 for that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or model making the attack may have. If that unit contains 5 or fewer models, the stratagem costs 2 CP, otherwise it is 3 CP. We've got Cybolt Ammo. Everybody's beloved and favourite Cybolt ammo. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a Grey Knight's unit from your army is selected to shoot until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack with a bolt weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target. Improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. If this unit has 6 or more models, it's 2 CP, otherwise it's 1 CP. So you only get the extra AP if you've actually rolled a 6 to hit. It's good at getting through some of those high toughness things. Zone of Warding. It gives you a stratagem in the phase where a Grey Knight unit from your army is selected as the target of range attack. Until the end of the phase, while this unit contains a model equipped with a Nemesis Warding save, models in that unit have a 5+ invulnerable save. Terminating models instead have a 4+ invulnerable save. If the unit contains 5 or fewer models, this stratagem costs 1 CP, otherwise it costs 2 CP. Just a way of keeping you guys a little bit less dead. Psych Out Grenades. It is no longer a grenade you just throw at someone, it's now a stratagem. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase when a Grey Knight's Psych Out Grenade unit is selected to shoot. If that unit is not within engagement range of any enemy units, roll 1d6. On a 2+, the closest enemy Psychic unit that is within 6 inches of and visible to your unit suffers perils of the warp. Not too bad. Frag Assault Launchers. Use your stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select one Grey Knight Assault Launchers unit from your army. And one enemy unit, excluding vehicles and monster units within 9 inches of that unit. The enemy unit can either brace or duck for cover. If that unit braces, it suffers D3 mortal wounds. If the unit ducks for cover, then until the end of the turn, subtract 1 from the attack characteristics modeled in that unit. And that unit cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend. It's a way of stopping people from getting Overwatch on you, which isn't too bad. I think Tower would definitely take the mortal wounds. That's the stratagems, all done. Stick around for the next video.